What's up, everybody?
One.
This is episode 25 of the Columbus DJ Podcast. I'm here with three awesome DJs right now, one of which is my co-host, DJ Corrupt. DJ Corrupt, what's up? How was your week off? I.O., man. Start up again.
We're like 3 weeks away.
Woo.
I'm good, man. What happened? Oh, I went to Florida.
That's right.
Last week. It was a good time. It was post-hurricane, so everyone down there that was like in Destin, Florida was a little bit angry and sad. But like we came down and we had a good time. Like they weren't even ready for us. We went to this bar called Coyote Ugly, and then we literally drank them all out of White Claw. Like they ran out.
Just you guys.
Like our group.
Dang.
So that's fun.
That's cool, man. And that's actually not why we missed the podcast. Events are coming back a little bit. So I actually had a nice little event at Easton Fashion Shows. That was pretty dope. But enough about us. I want to talk about our two guests here. I know them pretty well. You're going to get to know them pretty well. They are two of the best in the mobile DJ industry in Columbus, Ohio. Two of the best hosts, most polite dudes I've ever met, and great DJs on top of that. So I'm here with Loren Miller and Josh Daly from Josh Daly Productions. What's going on, guys?
Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be here.
So I just want to get straight into it because there's a ton to talk about. There's going to be a ton of information, a lot of great tips from the marketing side, from the DJing side, and from the mobile DJ, extra entertainment, sales, all of it. So I just want to get straight into it. Josh, tell us who you are, what you do, and what got you here.
Yeah, so my name's Josh Daly, from Kansas City, Missouri originally, and then moved up here for another job and started a DJ business kind of on the side as a result of having a bad DJ at my own wedding. And been in it 6 years and absolutely love the city, love the energy here, love meeting out some people like y'all. And it's been an awesome ride so far. Loving every minute of it.
That's what's up, man. What's your go-to like genre? I want to dig a little deeper. Let's take some time like to really show the listeners who you are. What kind of music do you like to play at your weddings? What's your style? What other type of events do you do?
Yeah, so mostly weddings, and then I do a lot for Ohio State Alumni Association. So like OSU Day at the Crew, OSU Day at the Cleveland Cavs, stuff like that. Go-to style. See, this is hard. So backstory on me, I grew up in a really conservative Christian household. So like we didn't really listen to anything that wasn't like hymns, except for two CDs. One was the Beach Boys' Greatest Hits, which was fantastic.
Yes.
And the second was the Jackson 5. And so I had those growing up. So then I jumped into DJing, and I'm always a little bit nervous to say genres out loud because like everybody has a different opinion on what goes in what genre. So like when it comes to, I just say house music, man. I love playing, open format remixes, and just kind of like my thing is you never know what's going to come on next when I'm playing. It's what I do.
Like that.
Dope. And you said you had a bad DJ at your wedding, and that's what kind of inspired you to become a DJ.
Oh,
tell us a little bit about that. Like, how bad was he that he was like that? You were like, yo, I gotta spend all the money, learn all this stuff, and just DJ.
Yeah. So this guy, I mean, this is just a kind of a setup to how bad he is. 5 minutes before the wedding starts, right? So I'm tuxed up, getting ready to walk down the aisle to stand in the front, and I get a call, and it's the DJ, and he goes, "Yo, man, I'm sick. I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it." And I was like, "Well, do you have a backup DJ?" And he was like, "No, man." And I was like, "Well, could you at least drop some equipment off? Cause like I could, play music off my iPhone if I." And he's like, "No, I can't do that." And I was like, "Well, bro, like, I mean, we don't have another option. Like we're going to be there in an hour. Like you gotta be there." And he was like, "All right, I'll be there." Well, like he wasn't sick at all. He was chasing us all over the golf course going, "Hey, your guests have been waiting for 30 minutes. You guys got to get in here from pictures." And like just said a bunch of really awkward stuff on the mic, even set up his system to where it blocked the door that he brought us in. So my wife tripped over his speaker stand on the way in. Like, I mean,
dang,
just bad, man. And so at the end of the night, he came up and he goes, "Hey, listen, my company never paid me the rest of the money from your wedding. Do you mind paying me?" And I just laughed at him. It's like, are you kidding?
Bro.
It's like, I'm not giving you any more money. None. So then, yeah, go ahead.
No, keep going. I got more.
I was just saying, like, so from there, I had some friends who were getting married that next year, and I said, listen, I feel like I can do this DJ thing better. Can I try out at your wedding? And they were like, sure, free DJ. And I was like, well, I mean, I didn't say free, but whatever, we'll go with it. And So did those first couple for free and then started my company. First year we did like 35 events and we thought we were super cool. And then, now we do around 300 weddings a year. And we just focus on excellence. That's our goal. We want everything to be as good as it can possibly be, which I'm sure is you guys' goal as well.
Absolutely, man.
Absolutely.
And customers feel that as well. Do you have like a most memorable performance, whether it was at a wedding or something else where, you felt like, okay, I've made it. Like, this is the kind of DJ I wanted to be. This is what I wanted. These people going crazy in front of me.
Yeah, I was thinking about that question. So like, there's three really memorable performances that stick out. And I'll just give you a quick rundown of each one. The first one was the first year I did the Glow Run for Ohio State. And that's where they do I forget how long the run is, but we just lit it up and I was DJing on the stage there in front of the aquatic center. And that was the first time I really busted out like kind of the music I love. So house music, a lot of really dope drops. And people were just going nuts. Like they were dancing all over that patio, even during the run, like they were having a great time. And I just remember thinking like, this is awesome. Like, I love this, that people are just reacting and responding this way. And then there was a wedding that we did down at Walter Commons, which is big Catholic school. 300 people. And the couple said, we want EDM all night long. And I knew EDM, I knew the artist, but I'd never really like played it or mixed it. And played it that night. And it was mayhem from beginning to end, that wedding. Like people were just going nuts and having so much fun. And then we ended with the Michael Jackson song from Free Willy.
Yep.
That I can't remember the name of at the moment.
I'll be there.
Yeah, something like that. But it was just fantastic. Way to end. I'll never forget that night. But I'd say the part where I knew I'd made it, the part where I knew like I was really talented and really good at this was it was a Sunday wedding. It was at this venue. This is literally the last wedding they were going to have. They were shutting down. It was a family of 50 people who were all divorced from one another. So everybody there was divorced from somebody else in the room. So There was a lot of like, drama that was most likely going to happen. Like the bride and groom said, A, no one's going to dance. 2, people are going to hate each other. And 3, we really just want to get this over with and get it done because we're scared of what's going to happen. I had those people out all night. Only 50 people in the room. I had everybody out on the dance floor having fun with each other, no drama whatsoever. And it was a great wedding. And I just remember thinking like, not that I'm going to take all the credit for this, but like, man, that was awesome how we were able to get people focused on the bride and groom and focused on the love that they had for one another. And that's when I knew like I have some talent here and I want to keep doing this.
Damn, that's awesome, man. I got one more question for him, but James, I want to see if you got any questions for Josh.
Yeah, I was so you guys aren't in the same mobile company, all three of you, right? Or
no,
you are?
No.
Oh,
all
okay,
three
cool.
Are separate.
This is a kind of a question that you guys can all answer separately, but definitely Josh, like since you're doing mostly, if not all weddings, I'm sure you had a lot of cancellations and stuff from COVID. How does that work with, makeup weddings? Like, cause I know that you're going to come around and be busy again with new weddings. So like,
right.
How does that work? How do you fit those in?
Yeah, so I saw the writing on the wall pretty quick and really worked fast to train some new DJs and really do some recruiting. So hopefully we'll have, we're going to be up by 4 DJs next season. So we're able to take on an extra 4 events every day. And so, as we have our couples move and shift to next year, which I'm sure you guys are dealing with as well, we still have some slots open to add new weddings, which will hopefully keep our revenue where it would be. And the cool thing for 2020, I'm sure you guys experienced this too, it was a monster year. So like we were up a ridiculous amount of money. So even after we moved everything to the next year and, had some cancellations and stuff like that, like we were still about where we would be for a normal year. And then next year is just insane at this point. Like I think,
sure.
I've had a goal of hitting 500,000 in sale or 500,000 in a single year. And we're going to easily hit that next year.
Amazing.
So, that's awesome, man.
Pumped about that.
What about you, Loren?
Yeah, I'm working on about $5,000 of sales right now.
Just getting started.
Yeah, just getting started. Yeah, so want me to start at the beginning? So how I got started in this?
Sure.
Actually, I think I was going to have you answer Corrupt's question because I have one more.
Okay.
Lifestyle question for Josh before I hop over. I want to get your input on this.
Kind of the same thing, like, so when we push people to next year, we're really pushing for like Fridays or Sundays or an off day because, we have 52 Saturdays a year. That's our prime inventory. And to just give that up for free is it costs us money. So,
Sure.
we're losing money when we do that.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and then on my side, kind of the same as Josh, just working quickly to get people rescheduled. We only had 2 cancellations, which I'm super happy with. I think we're kind of lucky, all 3 of us, in that couples who book us are expecting a party and a big dance floor, so they're more likely to postpone than to cancel. And I think that's helped us out. And then just kind of making sure you're staying on top of not rebooking. And like Josh said, he's bringing on 4 people. We got 2 new guys that will definitely be able to fill in the gaps. They'll get a lot to, shadow. And then hopefully by the end of the year, they'll be doing their own stuff. So, Josh, one more question before we hear Loren's story. You have a podcast of your own. I want you to talk about that. What do you guys do over there?
Yeah, so we have a podcast called the Columbus Wedding Podcast. I know it's super original name. If you need some help with branding, let me know. I got you. But yeah, we wanted to make it easy to find. But basically, we feature vendors in the Columbus area, like Mike needs to be on there, who do a great job at weddings. Like, so much of the Columbus marketing is pay to play. So, they pay a magazine to feature them, or they pay a website to talk about them. And so you're not, as a bride and groom, you're not always getting the most accurate information on who actually is good at what they do. And so we wanted to create a podcast where we were bringing on people who we actually love to work with, like people who we would recommend, each and every day. Because every bride and groom coming into a wedding is most likely getting married for the first time. They don't know what to look for in a DJ. They don't know what to look for in a photographer. And we want to be a resource to help guide you and help you make good decisions, even though this is the first time you're planning that wedding.
And you're like you were saying earlier, you're based, that podcast comes out of what you experienced at your wedding. Just like, wow, exactly. I had no idea this guy was going to be like this. And there's no, I'm not going to buy from again. It's like you're getting married again. So
yeah, it's not a sales pitch. It's just great information that we put out there for free.
Yep. Awesome, dude.
That's really nice. Yeah.
Loren, let's hear your story, man.
Yeah. So, kind of like Chang, who you guys had on before, I was a professional musician. And I actually called Josh up about 4 years ago and said, "Hey, man," he kind of put out the call, like looking for DJs, and I answered it. He ghosted me for like 4 months, 6 months, yeah,
6 months.
And then he called me. He's like,
defense, it was in my other folder.
Yeah, along with all the other ones. Yeah, then he's like, "Yeah, man, we got a wedding on Saturday. We need you." No, not quite that bad. But yeah, just started up. Looking back, it's kind of funny to see like, that process when you're starting off. Like, I remember like my first wedding, I was so intimidated. Like, oh man, what if these people don't like what the music I'm choosing? Just stuff like that. And then after that was over, I was like, yeah, this is good, because it really kind of blends a lot of my skills together. Public speaking, technical production side, musicality. I remember like training some DJs, and I'm like, "Yeah, do you hear the downbeat?" And they're like, "What's a downbeat?" And I'm like, "What are you doing here?" So like a lot of those things that we take for granted are just ingrained in my training for as long as I can remember. So yeah, I worked with Josh for a little while, and then sold my company to him, and now I'm out on my own. Luminary Productions, just launching that this week, so we're pretty pumped about that.
Congratulations!
And yeah, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. There's a lot we could talk about. What's your favorite part of being a DJ, and what instruments did you play before DJing?
Yeah, so my parents are professional cellists, and so I was born in Cincinnati. They were at the conservatory there, so like my first memories growing up are like going to like La Boheme, like opera practice, stuff like that. So music was definitely ingrained in my soul. And then I wanted to play saxophone or drums, I think in 6th grade when you could choose. My dad pulled this trombone out of the basement. He says, "No, you're playing this." I'm like, oh, come on. So, but, really took to it. And, I got a full scholarship to play the trombone at college. I got a trombone performance degree.
Dope.
That's
and then kind of segued that into piano and choral conducting and guitar and voice. And so kind of just a jack of all trades, master of none sort of thing.
Is it true
I guess,
that if you play the trombone in cold weather, it sticks to your lips? Like it's like a pole, like sticking your tongue on a light pole? I've heard that rumor.
No.
It's not like that.
So that's good. That would be called fake news.
Dang.
Okay.
Fake news.
There's a lot of that going around these days. But yeah, Lauren, you came up under, you talked about contacting Josh and kind of went through his training process. And Josh, I mean, I know Zach, who's one of your, done some gigs for you. I think it's his first year. He's talking about your training a lot as well. Lauren, how was Josh able to help you kind of like become a DJ?
Yeah, so Josh, he dove into this DJ thing. Like you would like text him at like 3 a.m. and he's down in his basement. Like it's like, oh, I got this new drop. You're gonna love it. So, I'm like, dude, you got to sleep, man. So he dove in and really applaud him for that. Like just chased after this thing and really put those 10,000 hours in quickly. Mm-hmm. Like I can remember a couple years ago when he went to Mobile Beat for the first time and like was learning how to mix. And then the next year after that, he's like an expert. So he really put
class, right?
Yeah, he really put the time in. So definitely kudos for that. And so just watching and learning, and he would give me some subtle critiques, some not so subtle critiques, which was always good. And just putting the reps in, and then, me kind of doing the same thing, like seeking out mentors in the industry. Like YouTube, can you imagine? Like if we like who needs college anymore? It's all on YouTube.
I agree. Yeah, for sure, man. And then, are you going to be able to implement the trombone into your performances down the road? Are you there yet? Is that something that happen?
I'm trying. I'm waiting for that to come back. The roots and all that.
Song.
Yeah, man. All those.
Yeah, but no. So like a cool thing is like, with fusion, and you were playing with Terrence Charles the other day. Like Terrence is an amazing saxophone player. Definitely a gem of Columbus.
Agreed.
And like, so how can we incorporate, some live, instruments into our sets? And, I'll be honest. If I'm just going to be a DJ, like I'm just going to play, that's going to get boring to me really quick. Like I need to be creative. I need to expand the entertainment. Like James, you were talking about like becoming an all around entertainer. Especially in COVID, like if you're not a good host, a good MC, like it's going to be hard. Like you got to have more of that total package. So like how can I continue to expand the bounds of entertainment with my background and live music?
Got any questions for Lauren, James?
No, I just think it's really awesome that you have that background, because I think it's going to be useful in whatever direction you go within the industry. Man, I don't know. I envy you, because I wish I played live instruments before I started learning how to produce, because then it would have made a lot of that a lot easier. So I do everything software based. So I'll think of something though.
That's like an instrument in and of itself, though. I mean,
yeah, totally. And that's a cool thing. Like you're not bringing this, like I'm bringing a framework to, like when I produce and I'm trying to make beats, like I'm bringing a framework with me. Like my cousin's making some pretty dope beats, and he's doing some crazy things that don't quite make sense logically as far as like a musical workflow. Mm-hmm. But like when he's like sourcing samples and all kinds of crazy stuff like that, like, like the compressor goes after, but he's putting it before, but it's creating some really cool sounds, so don't discount your own creativity.
Sure. Absolutely. I want to go back to Josh. We kind of mentioned it. You were a presenter at Mobile Beat in Las Vegas a year and a half ago now. And
so just to clarify, I performed there. I wasn't a presenter.
Listen, man, if I say you presented, you just roll with it. All right?
My bad. I didn't want anyone to think I was spreading rumors.
We're gonna make you the Mike Walter of the Midwest. But
right. Shout out to Mike, amazing dude.
Sure. I don't know if he watches this show. He's a little busy, but yeah, man, I want to talk about like performing there and what was your experience like, and then I want to know whether you recommend that other DJs check out trade shows. and the conventions?
So, I mean, first off, when I found out that I was selected to perform there, I was nervous as heck. I was like, I mean, imagine having 500 of your peers in the room and watching you do this. Like, I mean, it was crazy. And so, like, I'm just thinking, how am I going to impress these people? And then they tell me I can't even play on the controller that I'm used to. We're playing on this crazy controller called an SC2, which I can't even afford at the time. And I was just like, okay, what do I do? Like, I was just so new to all this. Cause like Loren said, first year I went and I learned how to live mix. And the next year I'm performing. It's like, geez. But anyway, so met such a great group of people. Like the people that I was performing with were just fantastic DJs, fantastic people. And we're still friends to this day. Like we still talk to each other. During COVID, we did house parties online together. And so really met like a band of brothers and sisters there, who were absolutely incredible. But the actual performance side was so much fun, getting up there and just being able to feel that pressure, but still perform and put on a great show, was fantastic. And I definitely recommend, if you're a DJ, it is always important to be perfecting and honing your craft. Anytime that you say I'm good enough and you just stop, like that's when you're regressing and you're being forgotten about. You have to keep pushing forward. You have to become more memorable, better at what you do, always chasing the best version of your performance, while still being a good person. That's also important. So, I definitely recommend Mobile Beat. There's a great one in Chicago called Marquee. That's just fantastic. And then, there's other smaller ones like Midwest DJs Live, that are also great to go to. And then, if you just want a really dope convention center floor with lots of great products, go out to Expo in Atlantic City. Like it's totally worth just going out for even a day, walking the floor. There's just so many great performances and products being featured there.
Yeah, man, it's like a little DJ Disneyland for like a weekend. It's not too bad. You get to meet some people, hang out, like-minded individuals. It's not as cool as like a music festival as far as like the vibes. DJs can be kind of like haters at times, especially when like those like the main presenter presents. I remember they had like VJ Rooney G and a couple other people. And instead of dancing, you'd think it'd be a room of people who love music. And you'd think like, oh, it'd be a great party. And it's really not. It's a bunch of people like standing. Half of them got their arms
critiquing,
like this, talking to their buddy.
I could have done that transition better. Yeah.
So, and I think once you've gone a couple of years, that wears off. So it's usually like the first and second year people who kind of do that. And then more, like as you get older, you start to actually appreciate what's going on. But Loren, you've also been to the conventions, I think, along with Josh. Would you recommend them to other DJs?
Yeah, and I'd say, kind of do your homework before you go. Like I remember like my first year going, just deer in the headlights, Mobile Beat, Las Vegas, just kind of like overwhelmed with everything. But then in my second year, I'm like, wow, there's just a lot of fat old dudes here. Like they don't even know who Cardi B is. Like what's up with this? And I think that was kind of like the death of Mobile Beat. But there are a lot of great like boutique shows out there where you can really get in, like those smaller shows, because the relationships are everything. Just getting time with people, sharing crates, all that good stuff, and just what's hitting in the Southeast, what's hitting in the Northwest. Just really kind of trying to, because we've got a style in Columbus. Like there's a style here, like, and it's great to kind of hear from people across the country.
Sure.
Would you guys say that there's not enough wedding DJs in this area, or just enough, or too many?
I would say there's not enough good wedding DJs in this area. I think they're very few and far between, unfortunately.
Seems like I'm meeting more and more, and I was just curious because I know that obviously there's tons of weddings, and I'm sure a lot of them have bad.
I would say the majority of DJs in Columbus don't even live mix when it comes to weddings. Would you agree with that, Mike, in your experience?
I'd say it's about 50-50, maybe less than that. I mean, I stopped going to weddings a long time ago, so I'm probably the wrong person to ask. Like, the only time I see a wedding DJ is like myself or like people that I've hired to do the people like where I can't DJ their wedding. So I'm probably the wrong person to ask. But you also got to remember too that, where 50% of DJs aren't live mixing, 50% of couples probably aren't listening for a DJ at live mixes, right? Like, all of us, including you, James, could rock a wedding without having to mix a single song and just dropping stuff on the downbeat and probably kill it. Because this is a crowd that it's not like a club style crowd. It's not music lovers a lot of time. It's just people who, want to hear some good music to dance. So, yeah, I mean, I would love more talented DJs like on the performance side in Columbus, but I also realize that that's, more competition and a lot of couples aren't necessarily looking for that. Unfortunately, I wish every couple was like looking for like the biggest and the best party with the cold sparks and the nitrogen and everything like that. But unfortunately, a lot of people just want you to play some Justin Timberlake, some Bruno Mars, and some Whitney Houston and get out of there.
Well, that was my second question was, what's the percentage of weddings that let you be you and get into your creative zone? Because I feel like a lot of weddings that I did were like so planned out as far as musically, when to play what song, when to get on the mic, and then like a do not playlist or something like that. So I wasn't really. I was like, man, I'm glad to be here, but like I feel like somebody else could do this. At least some of the weddings that I've done were really conservative. But how much does that happen? Because I know there's always kids around. Like I'm sure you have to play definitely all clean stuff, I imagine. Like you probably don't even download dirty.
I'll jump in there. So I think you can look at that as sort of a negative constraint. But I look at it as a positive constraint, and even COVID. So like COVID has put on more constraints to our parties. Like we can't high five each other. They're like there's so many more constraints. So like now you have to be even more creative. Like so yeah, you might play Justin Timberlake, but you're digging through crates and you're finding some like super dope remixes that these other guys don't even know about.
Right.
So you might be playing songs that they want, but you're playing them in a way that just brings energy. Your transitions are on point, and Mike, I'd push back a little bit. Like even dropping a song on the chorus, like that's a skill that not a lot of DJs have. They literally put their playlist on and hit go.
And
like
monitor.
Autoplay on Serato, complete with stops in between songs. Like that happens.
Mm-hmm.
If they're
like
even
it's mind blowing. If they're even using Serato.
I mean, I've seen guys out there with Spotify and iTunes, man. I still see it, and it just blows my mind. But yeah, to answer your question, James, like when it comes to my couples, just that at the point I am in my career, like the people who hire me, because I'm a much higher rate than my guys. The people that hire me, like they want to work with me. They want me to be me and do what I do. And they've seen the results of that. So, while they do have a must playlist and a do not playlist, like, there's probably 5 to 10 songs on that must playlist and then a couple songs on the do not playlist. But really what I hear the most is Josh, do your thing, because we know it works. And so, I earned that freedom. It took me a while to build that trust in this market. And you guys have all done it as well. But like, so I get that trust at, I would say 99% of the weddings I do. There's always that one couple a year who hires me, and I literally think the entire time I'm working with them, like, why did you hire me if you're not going to let me, if you're not going to listen to me? Like, you paid this crazy rate, and now, you're not listening. But you know what? It's a paycheck. I'll take it.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, man, that they paid you because they trust you to do a good job. Like they paid you because they trust you to listen to them during those meetings and do what they asked you to do. So like, while it may not be your style, they're trusting you to do what they ask. Excuse me. Because a lot of DJs won't even do that. I hear horror stories all the time about we met this DJ one time, which I think is crazy to,
Yes.
I think you got to do it more. But we met this DJ one time. We gave him a do not playlist. We gave him a playlist. He didn't play songs on our playlist. He did play songs on our do not playlist. So, and just from that experience, they probably would have paid $500 to $1,000 more if they would have gotten what they were expecting. So, I mean, I agree. Like, people just probably pay you that just because they trust you to do a good job,
Yeah. I mean, Wedding Wire releases a poll every year, and consistently every year, at least 80% of couples wish they would have spent more on entertainment because of the result they got.
And they want to, because it's an important night to them. They want to remember it in a positive way. And I understand there's a lot of preparation that goes in, but if you're playing stuff on a do not playlist, that's just common sense. How do you mess that up? I mean, I guess,
Lauren, you were saying something.
And Mike, I would say like that's the importance of having quality talent in the Columbus market. Is I feel like the Columbus mobile DJ market has been suppressed for so long. It has only been defined by price and not by artistry. Mm-hmm. So when the three of us can go out and really kind of raise the bar, like, dude, this is a party. This is an entertainment experience. This is not just cheap. We're changing the expectations of the market, which has been depressed for 10, 15 years.
Absolutely, man. And I think it's only going up with, Josh training his guys. Lauren, you're hopping in the game. I'm sure you'll have a team underneath you soon. Had a team before with, I think it was Turn It Up. Is that Turn Up?
Turn Up Columbus.
Turn Up Columbus. So I expect the DJ community on the mobile side to grow. The club side is already, growing like crazy and doing good things. But I see that going as well.
All I know is with this Columbus DJ podcast, I've met like so many wedding DJs and companies. I'm ready to go. Who's hiring me? Like, if I make the switch, I'm ready to go.
We got to clean up those dirty crates of yours, corrupt. Then we'll see.
I know. I pretty much have to download all new music, I think.
But can we just talk about how there isn't an app that can automatically detect language and just clean up a song like a filter that it goes through? Like, why does that not exist? Like, how hard would that be to put together?
There's
artist doing it.
Yeah, that would be helpful as well.
I mean, dude, I purposely download dirty just for the clubs, like, because, like, unless it's like something very offensive, I'll do the clean. Or if it's something that doesn't even have like top 40, like Flow Rider and stuff like that, like, you don't need dirty versions of that. Just But if it's like a hip hop song, you've heard like some of the tracks on 107.5 when they're bleeped out. I mean, in a club, you don't want to hear it like that. So
Mo Bamba bleeped out is hilarious.
Oh gosh, I can't imagine. WAP,
hilarious.
The kids will sing it for you though if it's like at a homecoming.
Oh yeah,
they all do. I love WAP clean. It's like wet and pushy. Like what are we?
Nice, really.
It's just like
I saw that they made like a Disney version or something like that.
Yeah, we're talking about Math and Silence and shit.
I have a question though. So like, the dinner part of weddings, like, is it still normal for even a DJ to your guys' wedding skills, like, to play a dinner mix, or do you actually DJ during the dinners, or is it just like preference?
I'll take this one first. I used to be the dude who was like, I can't believe these DJs are playing mixes during dinner time. They're getting paid. They should be mixing the entire time. And now I'm like the dude who, like, I have like 8 different mixes, whether it's country, rap pack, because
jazz.
Just different genres and I'll go through them with my couples. Like, I love when a couple wants me to do stuff, but Josh, Lauren, I mean, I don't know what you guys' meetings are like, but I'm like, well, what did you guys thought for dinner music? And then they're like, oh, and I haven't really thought about it. Maybe just like rap pack. And then I go, well, that's kind of normal. I have no problem doing that. But if you thought about doing this style, having me do this, and it's like, no, I think we're cool with that. And then it's like, all right, cool, move on. And that's why that's kind of how the mixes kind of started getting made, and now they get played. I eat, hang out with the other vendors, So
and see, that's the key for me, is getting the chance to hang out with the other vendors for just a second. It's just a quick, 30, 20 minutes, whatever, that I get to network and, catch up in people's lives. Because that's really the only time, especially with COVID, that we're seeing people in our industry is at weddings.
Right.
Lauren?
Yeah. And, and work in the crowd too. Like, I feel like dinner and cocktail hour, a great dance floor doesn't happen at the start of dancing, but a great dance floor happens right when that person comes in. Do they feel comfortable? Do they feel welcome? Do they feel that energy, like that X factor, that energy? Like, dude, like I see vendors that are like not smiling, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, come on, like, so the energy that we are presenting,
that you want to be there. Yeah. Because I'm sure they're all looking at, like, they all turn, like, when they're eating dinner and stuff, checking out, like, the dance floor, like, when is it time? And if you're over there, like, they're probably just like, that guy doesn't want us on his dance floor.
Yeah, you just look like you don't care. I mean, there's an element of fantasy to it. Like when you do as many weddings as we do a year, like, I mean, I'm not going to speak for you guys, but the allure of it all starts to fade. It doesn't diminish, but it fades a little bit. So part of that is creating that fantasy that like, this is the best day of your life, not only for them, but for you as well. Like you got to be in there with it. So like dinner time might be a time to kind of take the mask off and have some real conversations, because those other 4.5 hours, like you're on, and probably even more than that with when you like factor in tear down and ceremony and everything like that.
Yeah, the best quote that I heard is like, as soon as you open the door of your car at the venue, like you are on. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, so I'm an introvert. You know, I'm an introvert. Like, but I'm an extreme extrovert in those situations. You know, like I turn it on, I become the entertainer. But at home, like I want a good book and a comfy couch.
Yeah. I think a lot of DJs are like that, honestly.
Not anymore, man. We had 2020. This has been the book in the couch.
Yeah, everyone's going to be an extrovert after this.
Done with that. Yep. No, and you know, one of the biggest things that we've done is walking around to each and every table, introducing ourselves to every table, and letting them know, like, hey, you know, my name's Josh. I'm the DJ tonight. If there's one song or artist that would get you out on the dance floor later, who would it be? Just so we build that connection right off the bat, we get that trust, and we let people know what we're expecting. Like, we're expecting a great dance party, and we want you to be a part of it. What would be a song we could play for you? Not that we play all of those songs, but like it gives us a really good read of the room and builds a relationship with the people at the tables.
Man, the tips are just flying. Like, Josh, that's awesome. Lauren, you had something earlier, but like I think what both of you guys are trying to say, and it kind of leads into my next question, is like whether people are going to dance for you sounds so bad, but you know what I mean. Whether people are going to dance for you at a wedding starts long before you play that first open dancing track. Like if you can get people to trust you, laugh with you a little bit, you know, if you could show people that you care, it makes it that much easier for them to get out of their seat once the dancing starts. But that kind of before the open dancing is kind of what we call hosting. And Lauren, I wanted to bring this to you. Josh, I know you're going to chime in because you're an excellent host as well. Probably showed Lauren a few tricks on the way. But Lauren, I know you do an excellent job of hosting, and that's something you brought over from your musical career. What makes a good host, and what did you like learn about hosting that's made you such a good host today?
Yeah, I don't know if I can answer that. I think it's different for everybody, but you know, so I've been on stage my whole life, you know, one way or the other. So being on this side of the microphone is extremely comfortable to me, and I think that comes across in a large group setting. You know, my familiarity, my comfort level is there, and then also, you know, just accessibility, like we've been talking about. Like, you know, some people I'm like, dude, you're a wedding DJ. Like, get off. You know, like, come on. You know, Diplo's not in the room. Like, you're a wedding DJ. You know, like, this is your job. Do your job, you know? So like, and Mike, you said it too, like my goal is to let these people have the best, the best night of their lives, you know, one of the best days of their lives. And so I'm going to do it, you know, like one of my hardest weddings, but one of my most proudest weddings was kind of a lot like what Josh said. It was like, this was a small wedding, and you know, that the people just did not have much energy. Kind of older crowd, and so like I had to just put it all out there, like just tons of energy, really interactive but not cheesy, and worked my butt off for that wedding, and it was amazing. And I was dead afterwards, and like it was not glamorous, you know, like, but it was a great night for that couple. And that's, at the end of the day, it's got to be about more than just money. You know, so what am I doing to make the world a better place? Helping people smile, helping people celebrate. You know, Josh knows that you guys don't yet, but marriage is tough, man. It's the hardest, best thing you can ever do, and you're going to need to look back in your life and remember that wedding night and say to your partner, like, do you remember that night? Like, how incredible was it when, you know, Uncle Larry did the worm across the dance floor or whatever? You know, so it's more than just one night. We're creating a lasting memory that's part of the bedrock of their marriage. And I take that seriously.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Love that. Josh, hosting tips?
Yeah, I think you got to be authentic to who you are. I think that's the most important thing. I don't think you can come in and try to be somebody you're not. Like, obviously there's a, Loren and you guys have referred to turning it on. So there's a moment where we like become the best version of ourselves, but like we're still ourselves. And if you're trying to act like somebody else, you're trying to make jokes that you don't even think are funny, or you're trying to repeat the same shtick every time you go out, like it's not going to work. And that's one thing that I've challenged myself with is I have a kind of an outline for the opening that I do at weddings, but I really try to mix it up each and every time. And I also try to reach the heartstrings of people by, getting them to imagine what they want their wedding to be like, or what they wanted their wedding to be like, and then give that as a gift to the couple tonight. Like that's something I hit on, because I really think that it's easy to show up to a wedding, stay till after the first dance is over, and then jet.
Yeah.
But really what the couple wants is for you to stay around and have a great time. That's why they're throwing this party. Like one of our goals is to empower couples to give those who have supported them the most of the night of their lives. And if you don't even stick around and give it a chance, which you see at weddings from time to time, like there's this mass exodus right after dinner. And I feel like that is incredibly rude, and definitely something that should be called out and stopped as much as we can without, obviously we wouldn't want to do it at the event, but I just love to see us change that as a culture. I mean, people in Ireland, for goodness sakes, they party till 5 a.m. when somebody gets married.
Absolutely.
Now, like, let's switch it up.
2 days. 2 days they go straight.
Right.
At least.
Right. I'm saying.
Now, when that happens and the groups leave after dinner, does that make you guys feel responsible? Does the wedding party ever put that on you guys? I don't know. I mean, it's not that that would be realistic, but I mean, I've heard and seen a lot of things.
Well, we've done the work beforehand, so that rarely happens.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if people
I would say to that.
Yeah,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Really quick, I would say if people are leaving before you've played your first song, or if like 3 songs in, I mean, most wedding DJs aren't going to start with, like, even the bad ones start with stuff that they know is going to get people out. Like, sure. Unless, it's something where they say, hey, don't play anything that is played at normal weddings. So your first 3 songs are probably going to be hits. Sing-alongs, big dances, stuff that gets easy people on the dance floor. So if people leave at those first 3 songs, they were going to leave anyway. Like I would never, right. I don't think I'd take offense to that. Sorry, Josh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I think some contributing factors could be like the way your setup looks, and just, how much has the couple invested into the look of the day, the theme of the day, how the guests have been treated at that point. So like one of the big kickers, and something I warn couples about, is only keeping your cocktail hour to an hour. Because if it goes over that hour point, that's when people start to look at their watches and they go, okay, how much longer am I going to have to sit here? If I leave now, I could go home and watch all of season 4 of Stranger Things, that kind of thing. Like, you don't want them thinking that. You got to keep that night moving. And that's part of your job as the host, as the MC, is to keep things moving. Unless there's a wedding planner there who's running things, like, it really falls to the DJ. We have the microphone. So if we don't keep things moving and keep things flowing, if we're letting dead space happen, then yeah, I would say somewhat it is our fault that people are leaving at that point. But if, like Mike said, if we've done all that and we've just now gotten in our first 3 songs and they're most likely hits and people are headed out the door, like, no, that's not our fault.
Yeah, and like Josh was saying, even setup. So I think a lot of DJs are like, I just show up and I play the dance. But like we get together with them, we plan multiple times, and I can't tell you how many times like we're working on the setup. Like, where is the bar located? Is the bar located, a mile down the road? Like, that's going to impact the dance floor hugely. Mm-hmm. So these little things that, if I'm just a DJ and I just show up to play some music, I would not have caught that. But if I'm invested in the couple and invested in the planning, I can help them along the way and say, here are some tips and tricks that's going to maximize your dancing experience.
We're really like 2 hours for DJs, maybe even less than that, hour and a half. And then the rest of the time we're consultants, right? Because we have this wealth of knowledge of DJing for however many years, however many weddings. And like most couples, if we're doing our job right, can extract that information and make their day the way they want to. Because like Josh was saying earlier, they haven't done this before. And you got a ton of people in your ear when you're planning a wedding, from the people who may not be paying for it, from, the people who are in your circle. So it's nice to have someone who's seen a lot, just to like, not to tell you what to do, but to give you the options and see how it's been done well and done poorly in the past. I want to hop over to a question. So typically when I ask questions on the show, I have an idea of what type of answer I'm going to get. I can kind of predict. I think that's part of my job as like a podcaster. I'm asking this question purely for me. Josh, you are a marketing genius, bro. The speed
Thanks,
of
man.
which you've come up and made yourself like, I think, the guy in the wedding industry in Columbus is something that we can applaud. I think, you're alongside me and just kind of writing the book and writing the direction for mobile DJs in Columbus. So I just want to know, man, like, what marketing tips do you have? Who are your influences? And how can I make more money, damn it?
So I mean, I got to be honest, a lot of it's gut for me. And I need to sit down and I need to figure out and like write out what I do. But I mean, some basic tips is, watch what those around you are doing. So like, I got to give Mark Dancer props. When I first got in the market, like I scrolled through the knot, right? And I'm looking at all the DJs pages, and Mark's jumps out to me because it's the only company that is named after somebody. It's not just like Buckeye this or Buckeye that or Buckeye, whatever. Like there was literally like 6 companies that started with Buckeye when I got in. And Mark Dancer was the only guy that put his name on it. And I was like, you know what? That's a great strategy. He's setting himself apart. So I just put my name on mine and totally copied him. And then from there, I really think that your branding has to be on point with who you are. We're very edgy, we're very modern, and our logo reflects that. Our branding reflects that. We're about going big or going home. And so our Instagram shows that. Like, I mean, every Instagram post we put up has the bride doing something crazy or fireworks in it or, dope lighting. We're rarely putting up just somebody like standing there smiling at the camera. Like it just doesn't reflect our brand. So I would say, make sure that what the content you're putting out there reflects the type of weddings that you want to perform or the type of events you want to perform. I'm struggling with this right now. Like I would love to do some events outside of weddings, even though like I'm so booked for weddings, it's hard for me to do that. But I started an Instagram to do that, and I realized like I have almost no content to put on there because I'm mostly doing weddings. So like I have to find some other stuff to do to get other pictures to put out and show the type of events I want to do on that personal Instagram. So. And then I think you got to charge what you're worth. I think so many DJs in our market, like they say I'm worth $500, I'm worth $400. Like there's all these little Facebook groups out there, like Ohio brides and Columbus brides, 614 brides, stuff like that. And every time a bride posts in there, I'm looking for a DJ. They never specify price or rarely specify price, but there's like a slew of people that are like special right now, $499, $499, $499. And like I get it, I started there. But these are guys who have been in it, they say 17 years of experience and you're still at $499. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're not making money there. Like, with the amount that you're putting into equipment, the amount that you have to put into marketing and advertising, and just your time spent on the computer talking to these people and meeting with brides and grooms, like $499, you're not making any money. You're not making anything. And you're holding the market down. Like, charge, one of the best things I ever heard was it cost $1,200 to rent a decent sound system. If you were just going to rent that for the wedding. So like, why would a DJ who's going to bring that with them, why would they be cheaper than that?
I've always thought that was pretty interesting as well. Definitely. Damn, that hits home. I
can just picture all that happening, especially with everything that's going on and these DJs trying to refill their schedule.
Oh, sorry, before you go on, Corrupt, Josh, when you were talking about ideas to differentiate yourself and get into other shows, but you don't have the content for right now, I think streaming might be a good spot for you. I know I saw the one stream that you did. It was with a couple of like the BPM Supreme guys. It was a collaborative that you did.
Yeah, we did house parties and just brought in dope DJs from all over the U.S. It was sick. It was so much fun.
Use that content, man. Like, I mean, from what I remember, your streaming design was pretty good. Had a nice green screen, all the whole thing. Like, just use that as content and be like, yo, I can do this at the club. I can do this, wherever you need me to do, and just kind of leverage that.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea, man. I appreciate that. That means a lot. And, back to the pricing question, I have conversations with DJs in the area who I would say, like, when it comes to like mixing, they're better than me, and they're charging $12.99, and I've legitimately asked them the question, like, with your experience and how long you've been doing this, why are you worth $12.99 and I'm worth $36.99? Like, why am I worth more than you? Why wouldn't you raise your price and come up there with me? So, I would say wherever you're at right now, just continuing on that, like, are you charging what you're worth? Because, and I know it's scary. I get it. It's scary to make that price jump because you're comfortable. You're booking where you're at, but come up, because if you're as good as you think you are, and if you're a good DJ, people are going to pay for that because they want that experience. They want what only you have to offer. Because what Mike has to offer is not what I have to offer.
Agreed.
What Corrupt has to offer is not what I have to offer. And ditto for Loren. Like, I mean, we all have our own thing to bring. And if they want you and they want your brand, they're going to pay for it.
And what I think about what's awesome about our industry in Columbus is that we kind of know what lanes we stay in. Like, I've recommended Josh for stuff that I'm like, I'm listening to what you're saying. That's more of like a Josh Daly style DJ. Check out Josh. And he's done the same for me. So you don't go into it thinking that you have to be like everybody else. Carve yourself out a niche, like make friends with the other DJs and get booked, and especially the other vendors, because a lot of vendors, DJs are kind of like not the last in line after the vendors and the photographers, so we don't get to like refer people as much. Maybe videographers, but a lot of vendors will be the ones that refer us.
I see that changing, Mike. I see people booking venue. It used to be venue, photographer, DJ. Mm-hmm. Now I'm seeing it as venue, DJ, photographer, because there's a lot of couples. And I don't know if this is just a Columbus phenomenon or if it's happening everywhere, but that want that party. Mm-hmm. And they're so concerned with the party part of the night, they're going for the DJ second. So I hope that's a trend that will continue, because I love that. I feel so honored by that. And I think a lot of us are working hard to change that perception of, because I mean, DJs 5 years ago were thought as idiots.
Yeah.
Like guys who show up and are going to mess everything up, especially in the wedding field, not so much in the club field. But I'm seeing that shift now, and people just expect more out of their DJ. So I think that's awesome, and I want to see that continue.
And that's a direct result of, bringing up that talent pool of DJs where, you're getting, it's not just a commodity of an $800 DJ, but you're actually getting an entertainer that everyone's going to love. Like and the more we do that, the better that's going to happen. And also too, Mike, like, I think we are so uniquely positioned here in Columbus. You know how many major cities are within a 3-hour drive? Mm-hmm. Detroit, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Pittsburgh. There's high-end venues at all of those, and I'm just starting to try to market to planners and to like venues out there. But like, wow, we are in a crazy, awesome location to be able within 3 hours to get to a lot of markets.
That's a good point. Do you guys want to talk about wedding venues or extra entertainment? I would want to talk about extra entertainment. I feel like there's been some cool things happening, but I don't know if you guys wanted to give some of your favorite wedding venues a shout out.
I mean, Jorgensen Farms, I'm there almost every weekend, and they're fantastic. The Hilton downtown Columbus, love working with Brian and his team there. The Westin, can't touch the Westin. Westin's awesome. Mm-hmm. View Columbus does a great job. I love places where they're flexible and their goal is not just to make money and not just to like hold every little byline in their contract, but they're focused on just the night as a whole and making it awesome for the couple. Cause like they get one shot at a wedding day and you get one chance and it needs to be awesome. And so venues who have that goal in mind, along with myself as an entertainer and the photographer and the other vendors involved, like, man, that's awesome. So I love that mindset.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like all those venues you mentioned are great. Four Seasons Barn, Little Turtle, Athletic Club. When they care, it's great.
Before we move on, I have a kind of an important wedding or DJ wedding question, because we have a lot of DJs that watch this podcast and have been on this podcast that aren't wedding DJs. Mm-hmm. I myself have given up several weddings to wedding DJs, including yourself. I've given you some. But I get asked to DJ weddings a lot, even though just from being, people in the clubs and closer friends and stuff like that. And, speaking for all the other DJs that aren't wedding DJs that would like to, maybe do one or two a year or something like that. what kind of advice can you give somebody like me who doesn't own the full package of, speakers and gear? Like, what's realistic for renting? What's a realistic price to tell somebody, like, obviously we're not giving you the wedding experience or full wedding DJ experience, but maybe we know that we're confident that we can like put in the time and preparation to make that one wedding solid. What's just, where I'm coming from this, from like outside the box.
Here's what I would do. Go ahead. Go ahead, Josh. I talk all the time on this thing. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, man, like, I mean, that's where relationships are key. And I was going to say earlier, like, even with just this conversation, I can already tell you, like, DJs in Columbus, like, we need to get together more. Like, obviously we have COVID going on right now, but we need to hang out and know each other. Because, like, I mean, if you call me up, James, and you're like, listen, I'm doing 2 weddings this year. I need to borrow some equipment. Like, yeah, dude, absolutely no problem. Like, hey, and I wanted to upsell the fireworks. Yeah, use mine. Like, I'll give you a great price on it. Just cover my cost on it. And, you're out there making money and you don't even have to worry about the equipment. But yeah, and then, or maybe I could be like, hey, Corrupt, show me how to be a club DJ and I'll just give you the stuff for free. Whatever. Like
there's definitely some trading that
we can work it out. Yeah.
Like, okay. So like, I feel like I'm blessed in this situation, but like somebody, that's just, maybe playing once a week at the bars, they're close family friends, like, you want to DJ my wedding? They're like, they really want to do it. They have no wedding experience. They want to give it a shot. Like, renting gear, like you just said, if you want a good speaker system, $1,200. I mean, I used to rent wedding speakers for probably half that, and I thought it was good. But I mean, obviously, I'm not getting powered QSCs all over every corner of the room and stuff like that. I don't know. I know these are like 50 different questions, but I know there's a lot of DJs that might watch this podcast and be like, well, how do I do my first wedding?
Yeah, here's what I would do. And first off, you have to decide, do you care about this person and do you care about potentially messing up their wedding? If you say that, yes, I care about messing up their wedding, what you do is you either reach out to a DJ friend who does lead weddings. You can hit up, I'm sorry, guys, it's mine. I got to say it first. You can hit up Beat Squad. You can hit up Josh Daly Production. You hit up Loren's company. And just
Luminary Productions,
maybe. Yeah, Luminary Productions. And what you do is you say, hey guys, I have a wedding coming up. Before that, decide how much you want to make that night, because that's very important. And it should probably be a little bit more than what you do make on a normal night, because there's probably a little more work involved. But decide what you're going to make. Talk to one of these people. Tell them what's going on, and they can probably just send you someone. So you just show up with your board and your notes from the couple that you've taken. Maybe you even get the person who's helping you out to help you like with the note taking and everything like that. Basically hire someone who does weddings normally as a consultant. Hire them to do all the other wedding stuff. So all you have to worry about is maybe saying a few things on the microphone if you want to. Maybe they can take that too, and then you get that 1.5 to 2 hours to do your thing with DJing. Now, if this is something where it's like you're trying to parlay this into more weddings, you just got to do it. Charge a low amount and then make your mistakes, because a lot of what you're going to learn in this build is just from experience. You can look at books from Mike Walter. You can look at YouTube
Mike Walter
channels.
Stuff is phenomenal. +1 there.
You can look at YouTube channels, but wedding DJing is one of those things you just got to do it. And if you're not doing it a lot, hire someone who does, to just kind of be your consultant and let you kind of just do what you do best. What were you saying?
How about shadowing a wedding DJ? Is that a thing?
That's so.
Hit me up, man.
Yeah.
But Mike,
I can definitely pay you.
To your setup, man, or to your idea, like how dope would it be to have, if you're a DJ and you're playing for friends, how awesome would it be to have somebody who's just focused on emceeing and then who's running sound for you, in a sense of making sure you sound awesome, all the equipment set up, and you get to be like a, performer. You just show up like you do in the club, everything's set up, plug in and go.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. I mean, if I have a guy free that day, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Cause obviously whoever's still getting their cut. So that makes sense.
Yeah, everybody's happy. Now the DJ's company happy, the couple's happy, you're happy, you made money, you got to rock star the event. Everybody's happy. Like, I don't see any problem with that. You were gonna say, Loren?
Yeah, and I hear these stories of these guys playing bar gigs till like 2 a.m. for $150, and it just breaks my heart. I'm like, my goodness, guys, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I will pay you more than that.
It's a little bit different, though. I don't even know if there is a little bit different. Like,
a lot less preparation, a lot more tolerance of, mistakes and immaturity and drinking. And
so it's a risk reward equation at that point. Like, how much risk are you willing to take on for this payday?
Sure.
And do your skills back it up?
Yeah.
Let's talk about awesome. Extra entertainment. And this is, damn, I feel like we've completely been going off. You know what? We're going to keep going. Extra entertainment is a big part of the wedding DJ game now if you want to make a ton of money. Josh, I know you've been having success with the Cold Sparks recently. What other extra entertainment has been popping up recently, and what have you guys been liking? What have couples really been liking now?
Also, what are Cold Sparks? Because I'm not familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Cold Sparks are 10-foot tall sparkler fountains that look like the real deal, but you can stick your hand in them. You can stick your face in them. They're not going to burn you. They don't set anything on fire. They don't create any smoke. But any state-run or local government or local city-run venues won't let you use them. But everybody else has been cool with them so far. We actually got them certified by several fire marshals in town as well, which is great that they're safe. But yeah, they're just fantastic. So we put 4 to 6 of them behind the couple, so they go off during the first dance. They go off during all the big drops on the open dancing. So man. Like you throw that epic drop in there and shoot those things off. Everyone goes nuts, takes selfies with them. It's cool. People always ask me like if there's one add-on that I should get, what would it be? And I always tell them that just because the bang for your buck, like no pun intended, is fantastic. Like guests just think they're the coolest thing ever.
Photographers love you for it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, great pictures too. Like if you want to see some great pictures, check out my Instagram at DJ Loren Miller. You can see them in action. It's just that wow factor. You're like jaws are hitting the floor, and like you want to make memories. That's a surefire way to do it. You can see behind me, I've got my selfie station, shamelessly positioned there for you. That's another great revenue stream, but also adds a lot of value. Because you want to make memories. So like we can create those memories that are emailed or texted directly to your guests, pictures printed that you can look back on 10 years and like remember crazy stuff happening.
They're basically saying I shouldn't offer a Nickelodeon slime bucket drop at my wedding.
That would be incredible, actually.
I would pay for have the bride in the room and just drop slime on them.
But if you hit the whole dance floor at once, that would be the
Sorry, that does not come out of your dress.
They don't wear it again anyway.
Yeah. Oh man. Another cool thing that we just got is actually you guys know what a Gatling gun is, where it like spins around. Sure. It shoots CO2, but it like lights up the fog into different colors as it goes out.
Oh, dope.
So we get the couple up there, get a really dope song on, and then they fire that into the crowd. We got videos coming soon on that one. It's absolutely sick.
That's cool. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, those are up and coming, and I would also say CO2 cannons that are shooting confetti. I would say those are something we're adding coming up here, and those are fantastic. And that one confetti drop, you can get such cool pictures off of. And then the couple usually turns out
tank and the gun.
So they actually sit on the floor, and the CO2 launches a packet out and just blows the confetti like real big.
Cannon.
Hey, you have fun with that, man. I'm not messing with my vendor, my preferred vendors list. The people picking up confetti off the floor for 4 hours.
We clean it up. We clean it up. We tell them, like, we bring the shop back. We clean the whole thing up at the end of the night.
All right.
Pay this man.
Yeah, man.
Pay this man.
I'm not making any poor venue worker have to deal with that stuff.
What.
The nice thing is that we get the big stuff, so it's easy just with a shop vac to go and it's done.
Nah, bro. You get a little bit of alcohol in between those on the floor. You're sitting there for a couple days.
In my
don't
contract,
tell me that. Don't tell me that.
No glitter.
Definitely no glitter. Definitely no glitter. Can't do that. And then the cool thing, Mike, you've probably experienced with the uplights, what you're able to do with uplights and sound switch. That has really been a big seller for us, just because people see that, hey, they're not just sitting there static all night. Like, they're actually tuned in with the music. Like, that's awesome.
I haven't used them with sound switch yet, but because I haven't gotten the wireless DMX transmitter. But that's a cool idea. I might look into doing that. I just use
which uplights do you have?
I have the Chauvet quad
Freedom Bars.
Try something.
The Tri-6s?
Yeah, try 6s. Thank you.
Yeah, those work great. Being from experience, I have those as well. Had those. I switched to Ape Labs, but
I think they're like the best ones where you're not going like crazy for your money. Like the value's there because I feel like they have like the hexes, and they like I don't know that anyone's gonna like. I don't know what I'm trying to say. They're not. You don't get the bang for your buck. Like the tries, I think are like 1,200 for 4. And then the hexes are like 1,800. I don't really know what the hexes do to earn that extra $600. I hope I'm explaining.
Yeah, so you can do amber. So like a lot of like gold is a hot color right now. With your tries, you can't really get a good gold, but with the hex bulb, you can get like an amber, like that light behind me right there. It's kind of an amber color. So it does kind of expand your color palette. I personally think it's good to have.
How's their white? The hexes.
White's great. You don't get any of that color separation on the wall, which I hate. But, so I think that's the next like level in DJing. A lot of people just put that flash and trash on, set it to auto and go for it. Mm-hmm. But like when we can, sync the lights to the music and not just like auto mode, but like DMX it to the music and recreate that club atmosphere. Because the music is just half of the equation. So you've got the whole vibe going on, like your surroundings. When you can create a dance floor that's inviting and encourages like this escapism event, like we're going to go have a fun time, and the lights contribute to that, the confetti contributes to that. Like when that all comes together, it's a beautiful thing.
This is what separates you guys from these $500 DJs, man. I'm telling you.
I hope so.
Thanks, man.
It's actually
that too. Thankfully.
Yeah, it's a small piece to it. You guys are great DJs, I'm sure.
Let's go to show and tell. I know James is itching to get to show and tell. Guys, we do this every segment just to kind of break up the DJ chatter, see a little bit more about you both. It can be DJ related, can not be DJ related, but show us something that's in your house. And Josh, I think you're looking like you're ready. Go ahead.
I'm looking for something. I'm just going to this Nerf gun.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Our first Nerf gun.
James,
if you have not used,
can we at least get a firing example?
Oh, of course. So cock it like so, right? But these mega ones, these have giant darts in them, and so they're super accurate. So like I got Jimi Hendrix over here. So every now and again,
whoa! You cannot be shooting Jimmy
with a Nerf gun.
I don't know, man. I don't think the symbolism not down the. We might get flagged.
Okay, I'll shoot Ben Howard over here. Right, but yeah, you could totally like just fire and. Boom.
Oh, nice. Sounded like a good hit.
Yeah, no, it was right on. It was right on. But I mean,
looks like the sawed-off shotgun in Warzone.
I mean, how epic would it be to play Nerf with Jimi Hendrix, though? Like, if he was still alive. That would be
anything with Jimi Hendrix would be dope.
I'd probably want to hear him play guitar more, but like even just like 5 minutes of Nerf would be great.
I mean, I've been having some pretty intense Nerf fights with my nephew, so.
Oh, I can't wait for those days, man.
Yeah.
My nephew's 1, and then my son just turned a month and a half. So
I was gonna say you didn't bring him up. Usually the DJ daddies bring him up. Man, congratulations.
He's gone. So he's not at the house right now. Otherwise, I would have brought him in.
Oh,
here,
okay.
Yeah.
Congrats.
How's that going?
Yeah, really good, man. I mean, I didn't know how it was gonna go because I'm just so focused and driven. But like when he was born, this like switch flipped, and like all of a sudden I have this extra capacity in my brain that's only focused on him.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. So praise God for that.
Absolutely. And then Loren, show and tell. I know you brought the photo booth, but is there anything else you want to show us?
Yeah. So this is not the actual one, but this is just a DI box. But like the one that you need to get is called the Radial Pro Av2. So it basically like you can put RCA, you can put 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch XLR into it, and just basically be ready for anything. Like. I had a gig the other day, and I was working with a live musician, and I'm like, "Hey man, do you have XLR out so I can throw it into my system?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure, definitely got all that." I show up and he's got RCA out, like, and I'm just like,
so it's essentially the ultimate adapter without sacrificing quality.
You got it.
Exactly. Yeah. So like Radial makes great stuff.
On the play, we said not DJ related. That was totally DJ.
Oh no,
you said you can do DJ related.
Really? I read it wrong.
No, the Nerf gun was fire.
I'll pick up the flag. I'll pick up the flag.
All right.
And
so
I'll say
what's that thing called again?
The Radial Pro AV2 or AV. It's a 2-channel or a 1-channel. Like put that in your bag. It will save your life.
How much
I see you editing the Google Doc, Mike.
Yeah, actually, you were right. So, all right, for the record, Jonathan's right. It does say non-DJ related. I had to go in and edit real quick.
That's probably my fault because originally when we started show and tell, we wanted it to be like really random. Okay, so how much?
And then not DJ related, but like COVID related. Get a nice camera. Like the camera that I'm using right now, Panasonic S1. I can't tell you how many like Zoom meetings I've been on where people are like, "Whoa, you're looking good."
I said that.
You know, like so and this is a marketing tip, you know, like, so the medium is the message. You show up to a Zoom meeting with a client or, you know, even in a bunch of other DJs and you're looking all grainy, your background's not looking good. Like that is your brand that you are showing. So make sure that like, you're looking good because it's all marketing. So like this camera has definitely paid off for me.
Yeah.
100%.
Completely off topic, but we should definitely do like a tips for photographers one day. Because I feel like we work with so many photographers, like
how to work with DJs. Get Jack.
Yes,
and,
like what do
Jack
you want?
and Julie on here.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Because I feel like we just hire a photographer, and they usually take good pictures. But I've had some photographers that send bad pictures, and maybe we can get some photographers to listen in and like. You know what I mean? Like show it, like when they send us, for example, I had this one photographer recently that sent me photos and they were just too close up and like I couldn't really use them. So I feel like,
Did you pay them?
Yeah.
Did they like consult with you to like, hey, what's your style? How do you like your photos? Anything like that?
Or let me rephrase, like when you work with a photographer, like, are you supposed to get like a certain amount of photos? Are they supposed to edit them before they send you? Do you want to edit? Like, I feel like there needs to be that conversation.
Yeah, I'm all about, if you're working with creatives, there's got to be at least one, hopefully 20-minute or longer conversation where you guys talk about expectations on both sides. Because I hear horror stories from all creatives, or like from all the creatives I work with, about how they thought it was going to be one way and then it ended up being another way. And the question I always ask is like, did you have a good conversation about what you were expecting, the style, what you should wear, what you shouldn't wear, where you should shoot, shouldn't shoot, blah, blah, blah. And almost universally it's no. So yeah. We got to understand that we're really good at a couple things as DJs. Photographers are good at another couple things, sure. Videographers, etc.
I don't know how like photographers at weddings, if they're judged like that, but
it's everything, man. It's just what do you call it? Finding out what your expectations are works no matter what industry you're in. But I feel like creatives,
that's universal advice right there.
Yeah, creatives really
make sure they understand. You understand the client's expectations. They understand what you're about to do.
But, and there's another tip there too, like working well with the vendor group, no matter what the gig is. Like I'm doing a corporate gig in Seattle, like I'm working with the AV team, so they know me and they know exactly what I'm going to be doing. If I'm working at a wedding at the View downtown, like I'm working with a photographer, with the catering staff. I think that's just a sign of true professionalism. So like when we can all work together, we create a better product. And it's better for the client. It's better for us. We get to have fun while we're doing it, and it's better for our businesses because it's going to lead to more referrals. I hear stories of like sides. DJs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Yes. For everyone. I hear stories of DJs like not working with photographers, not working with planners, just being like thinking that they're rock stars. I'm like, dude, you're back to my point. You're a wedding DJ. Like, come on. It's just, I can't believe that.
What have you guys been listening to recently? We try to talk about music. I know Ben ends up talking about like, DJ, philosophy a lot of the time and tips, but what music you guys been listening to lately?
Yeah, man. So Disclosure's new album, I'm sure you guys have heard it. It's fire. I've been on repeat with that for a while. And then I've also gone back and like really gotten into Nico and Vin's. If that's how you say it, right? But like, I mean, just some of the vocals in their songs and the remixes that are dropping with their stuff is fantastic.
They were actually halfway decent live too. Sorry.
Really? Awesome. I'm jealous, man.
I have a 5-year-old
who stops.
I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, so Josh will experience this soon. But so my musical tastes are being skewed right now. But I've recently just like got an old Mike Posner kick again. Like, dude makes some slapping beats.
What was his thing? Like, I feel like he should have gotten like super popular. Like, I think he kind of went through like the blog community. Corrupt, you probably remember that, where he was like in like all the blog things, kind of 2006-ish. And then he had like a pop hit, and then he made like Pill and Ibiza. That was like his biggest hit, which I thought was like one of his worst songs. And then like we haven't heard from him. I know he had some stuff going on with his dad, but I feel like he could have been a big artist, like not Justin Bieber level, but maybe like a step down from that.
I don't know for sure if he had mental health issues. I could be wrong. I could have the wrong person, but I think I remember hearing he was going through some stuff.
Like right after he wrote that song, right?
Maybe he actually took the pill in Ibiza, and that's why we haven't seen him.
Maybe.
I mean, that's only like 4 or 5 hours. I mean, gotta come back somehow.
I have no experience with that. So
tell us more, Mike.
I've heard.
That's funny.
Well, dude, that kind of brings up a good point. I was talking with some of my DJ buddies. You know, like, so I think for like Instagram, for like all the ladies watching, like, you know, I got a muffin top. I'm proud of it. You know, like that's just who I am now. But, you know, like ladies are like worried about how they look and comparing each other to Instagram models and all that stuff. You know, that doesn't really work with me. But like I see other people like putting their gig list down for October, you know, and like doing all that. And that's kind of like, you know, my skinny girl that I'm comparing myself to. And, you know, I think that's, you know, we got to be real with ourselves. Like, who shows their side hustle on Instagram? No one. You know, who shows real life on Instagram? No one. So like, you got to be careful with that. Like, yeah, there's a marketing aspect to that too, but you know, there's a humanity aspect about that as well. You know, like if you drill down into it, you know, marketing is kind of fake news at its core. You know, I'm presenting something that I want you to buy. So how do we, you know, present ourselves while we're marketing, but also with authenticity? You know, I think that's kind of like next level stuff.
And that's why, you know, maybe even something going back to your earlier question, Mike, like what makes our marketing so effective is I don't feel like we put in everything that we're putting out is our content. First off, it's a wedding that we've done, or it's a video that we've shot, and we want to show people the best, obviously, but we want to show people what is realistic. Like, this is what it looks like to have fireworks at your wedding. Like, you're going to get a video that looks like this. Like, we're not, you know, buying the promo video from somebody and wherever and then like showing them like, this is the most epic wedding venue ever with the fireworks. Like, we want to give you realistic, like, here's what it's going to look like at the Westin. Here's what it's going to look like at Jorgensen. Mm-hmm. And so like everything we put out there, to Loren's point, like is realistic and definitely can happen and does happen each and every time that we go out. Like, we're not showing one thing and then delivering another. Yeah,
actually, I think we missed James's. Well, James, what have you been listening to, bud? I think we skipped over you for that. I know you love that segment,
bro. No, it's cool. Just, you know, man, I got a lot of house shows in the works. I can't name people that we're bringing to Columbus yet, but you know, we got the Noizu shows coming end of October. So I've been prepping for that. Listening to a lot of feel good house music. No specific names, but I mean, a lot of like vibes, like I guess like MK and like Dombresky and Dom Dollar type of stuff. I really like Kanye's Ego Death song. I've been vibing to that in the car a lot. Travis Scott, Franchise. It's a new song he just put out. You know, I'm always listening to hip hop and house. It's always back and forth.
Mm-hmm. I was, what did I listen to? I've been on a summer house kick. So that Noizu Baby Baby song, all the Disclosure, like you were talking about, Josh.
That's such a good album.
Yeah. So I've been listening to that and some summer vibes. I'm trying to think what artist was like super prevalent. Weiss, like you were saying, MK. So yeah, just the summery house vibes, which I guess I can talk about that later. But
yeah, you got your new mix, right?
Thank you. Yeah, there we go. No, actually, we'll go over that in
I'll
the
set you up
subsection, in my promotion subsection. But I want to get to tips for listeners just because we're running out on time, and there's been already tons of knowledge drops. But I know you guys probably prepared for this. So, what are your tips for listeners that they have not heard before? Let's start with Loren this time.
And we're talking to DJs, right?
We're talking to DJs.
Yeah, my big tip is put the time in. Yeah, you can mix in your bedroom. That's great, but you're going to need to get some time on the street. Behind the decks in a club. Go open for 6 months for free. Put the time in. Get comfortable on a mic. When I train people, they always kind of freeze up on that first time they're speaking on the mic and they're just saying welcome, like that one word, and they're still freezing up. You got to get over that. The only way to do that is through repetition. And yeah, you can practice in front of the mirror, but there's no real replacement for actually doing that. So find some low risk situations where you can get on a mic, because that's a skill. And the only way to bring that up is to practice it and to hone it.
I like that. Corrupt, do you have anything to say about how long a DJ should work for free for? I know you have strong feelings about that.
I just think, once you're established, just like the wedding DJ market price, the bar and nightclub price there needs to be an understanding there. But I actually just wanted to go on top of what he just said, get to know get out there and get some gigs, but also just get out there and get familiar with your industry. Like, you guys are pretty tight with a bunch of wedding DJs and vendors and stuff. If you're sitting at home DJing all the time and then you go out once every 3 months, whatever, and you're wondering why you're not getting booked because you emailed me and you're like, can I play? I think that's a lot of people don't understand that it's not just learning how to DJ, but putting in the time and effort to meet the people that are already being successful in the industry, try to gain some respect in that sense, and definitely keep a good reputation within the industry if you expect to maintain whatever you do get. So I know that's not what you were getting at, but I feel like learning how to DJ and the industry are hand in hand.
That's fantastic.
Totally. Yeah, I completely agree, James. Say you're doing those opening gigs for a while, part of your job there is to network, and because it's 95% about who there are better DJs than all of us in a bedroom right now in LA, but no one knows about them.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Josh, what you got for us, buddy?
Man, tips. I would say to definitely network. I think that, like I said, I think we all need to get together more as DJs in the scene, and just hang out. But I would say up your game. Wherever you're at right now, whatever level you've gotten to, it's really easy to fall in, and you have some people saying, "Oh man, you're awesome," but that you could improve and you could work on X, Y, and Z. Do that work. So like Loren said, put in the time, but do it so that you come out making more money, you make your clients even happier, and you are becoming the best you can be, because there's really not a point in doing something as awesome as DJing if you're not the best that you can be. You want to go out there and throw down. Every wedding I go out to, I want to go throw down. Mm-hmm. I'm not going out there going, oh man, it's just they only want me to play Frank Sinatra tonight. If we're playing Frank Sinatra, I'm gonna mix Frank Sinatra better than anyone's ever mixed Frank Sinatra. That's my goal. I'm not saying I'm that good yet, but that's my goal when I go to that wedding. I want to shut it down. So I would say get to that level if you're not there already. And if you're not there and you want some guidance, come shadow me, come shadow my guys, go shadow Mike if he lets you. I mean, he's way more high profile than I am. So
if you want to carry my shit around, please, by all means, you can do it. You can watch wherever you want. You got 5 different cameras watching. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Can I carry your stuff into the Columbus Crew game is the real question.
Absolutely, man. You can probably DJ there.
All right, sweet.
That new stadium.
Not hard.
Yeah, when's that
Mike,
opening?
you gave...
Go ahead.
I want to say, like, Mike, you gave me a great piece of advice a couple years ago when you said, like, don't worry about your competition.
Not at all.
Just be the best that you can be, and you're going to be fine.
Yeah. Josh, I had a question as a follow-up to what you said about your tips. Do you believe in goals? Do you do you believe in goals? I know some people don't.
I do. I think they're effective. I'm not the person who's like writing my goals down and putting them on the mirror when I wake up in the morning. That's not who I am. But overall, like, again, my general goal is I want to be the best that I can be. I don't want to be the best that Mike can be. I don't want to be the best that Loren can be, corrupt. I want to be the best that I can be. And so if I'm putting in, and that's different for each phase of life. So right now I have a newborn. So my best is not, I can't put in as much time into mixing as I normally do. I can't put in as much time on the record pools, but like I'm doing the best I can right now. And the preparation I did leading up to my wife being pregnant, like I knew I wasn't going to have time. So like I put in a ton of work in getting projects going that are running by themselves now. But just always be chasing the best version of yourself as a DJ. But if goals help you do that, if writing them down and putting them on the mirror is something you need to do to accomplish that, do it. Like, do what you got to do. Everybody's different. Do what you got to do to get there.
Yeah, I was just curious because like what you were saying kind of made me think like goals seems like the answer to like what you were talking about with your tips. But I know some people, everyone has a kind of different like viewpoint on goals, whether it's, is it like lofty goals? Are they smart goals? Are they this, that?
Short,
so I was
long.
just curious. Yeah.
I'm definitely lofty. Definitely up there.
What about you, Corrupt and Loren? What kind of goal set are you guys, or do you not goal set at all?
I'm just an organizer, man. Like when I think of goals, I do short-term goals. I have long-term goals, but I don't need to write them out. I know what I'm chasing.
Okay.
And by it being taped in front of me, that's just gonna stress me out, honestly. I'm like, listen, I know. Yeah, Theory. I don't need you to tell me every day. So,
what about you, Loren?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like inspiration is the best goal for me. So, like, man, I'm missing live music right now. Like, I'm missing hanging out with creatives like yourselves. Like, when I get around, like even right now, like I'm ready to go. Like, let's get going. And that's just so important for me to have that. As a creative, I'm kind of, you guys are probably like this too. Like, super productive, getting it going, and then like, oh, it's raining. Oh, that sucks. So yeah, just trying to put people and things around me that continually to inspire me and fan that creativity.
We call this the flip. It gives you guys an opportunity if you want to ask Corrupt direct questions or talk about any topics that maybe came up that we didn't get to dive into, and we can hit those now. Anything you guys want to talk about with us?
Give me your thoughts on the new CDJ 3000.
I'll do short thoughts.
His bell.
Yeah, I'll do short thoughts. A, I don't think I'm going to buy it. In fact, B, I know I'm not going to buy it. But I just wanted 8 cue points, and I got those, and then the rest is just bells and whistles for me. I haven't had a chance to play on them yet, but they seem like they did what they were supposed to do. I think, James, we've talked about a million times, I would have loved a second flash drive on each of the players. But yeah, I think they did what they needed to do, and that'll last for about 5 years like they wanted to. I think they did a nice job.
Does the Nexus not have 2 USB players on it? It does not. Okay.
Just one.
I have the XGJ, the XZ, and it does.
So, yeah, wait, Josh, did you switch off of the Rain platform? Did you?
I've been off Rain for a while, man. I tried the SD2 and I fell in love. So that's been my main mixer for a long time.
So you tried it first time at Mobile Beat, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So you were like nervous about it. You're like, oh, this is awesome. Let me get this.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, but I just got the XZ. I'm pumped about that. I got the DJJ. No, I forget what it's called, but it's the sampler that goes with the Nexus system. And
the one with the 16 pads?
Yeah, it is so much fun, guys. If you haven't played with it, it is so much fun.
Oh,
I didn't get that, but I just got this bad boy. I'm testing before my Machine Plus comes in. It's the MPC Live 2.
Nice.
Trying to do what I'm trying to get Loren to do with his trombone. I'm trying to do with drums and piano and all that stuff on the pads. And I've been a Machine guy forever. And this thing, it's almost there. It's got a built-in speaker. It's battery powered, which I love. So you can like mess around with it anywhere. But some of the workflow, I don't know whether I haven't figured it out quite yet or whether it's incapable of what I really want it to do. But I've been having some fun with that this week. Just kind of.
Mike, will you send me that pad again that you told me that I need?
Yeah, let me.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'll do want me to send
But to answer the question, just text it to me. But to answer your question, Loren, I like the CDJ 3000. I think it's a beast. I'm not going to buy it, but I throw a lot of shows with a lot of national acts coming in, and it's going to be the standard on all these tech writers by March. So we're going to have to get them eventually. Or Jerome Edwards, shout out Jerome Edwards. He's definitely going to have them, and he's going to rent them out to us. Now, as a person that works at the venues all the time, and if you're a venue like us that needs new gear, you might as well just get them, because they're going to become the standard for clubs. So it's a little bit different for us. But, you could save a lot of money by just investing in a pair as a club owner.
Are clubs going to be around in March? PPE's running out?
Don't say that. Don't. We can't be talking about it like that, bro.
They're going to be there. They're going to be there.
Well, they're already opening back up.
How do I do the zoom in camera? The camera zoom in. I don't know how to do that. All right, listen, PD.
Yeah.
You're listening right now.
Get the CDJ 3000s.
Get the CDJs or buy insurance or only bring them out for the headliners.
Correct.
Those are your only two options.
Save yourself,
I beg you.
$10,000.
Get the insurance or only bring them out for the headlining shows.
When you snip this episode, can you send that to me?
I will. I'm texting it directly to PD.
Okay.
Like, who is this?
I was hanging out with duct tape at a bar downtown, and I forget some CDJ 1000 or something was there, but like half the buttons didn't work, and I'm like, dude,
it's so hard to do that, man.
It's so funny too, because like I feel like a lot of the maybe the guys who do like mobile events or corporate events, they're like, oh yeah, I wish I could DJ in the club. I think it's gonna be so awesome, and they get there and like the cue buttons don't work and all this shit.
Like, how do you?
Monitor doesn't work.
It's like, how do you DJ with this? What do you mean? It's working great.
Yeah, exactly. It only got 2 beers spilled out of last week.
That leads to my question. So I love weddings and absolutely love doing them. But if I want the experience of opening the club or just getting into that world, like I'm not looking to take anybody's spot. I don't want to take over. I can't do it on a consistent basis because
just message me. I got you.
Okay. Thanks, man. But like what do you want to see from somebody like me to be like, oh yeah, I would trust that guy to open for me?
I mean, dude, I already know that you're a professional. Yeah. Bring a small group out. I'll tell you what general area to stay in with music.
Yeah.
And then honestly, like just literally doing your job correctly. You'd be surprised some of the shit we deal with, man. Yeah, dude, so, you would literally just come and be like, I'd be like, you want to play next week? Like, no, I got a wedding. Like, that's what would happen. No, and honestly, I work with a lot of great DJs, a lot of up-and-coming, young, high-ceiling DJs. But you know how it is when you first start and you got to learn flow, set flow, learning the difference between, like, you got to know your tracks. A lot of these, if you can't beat match with headphones and you come into a club like Daly with CDJs and that's another nightmare. So like if you are using a laptop, make sure it's, working. I mean, I've had everything happen.
Know how to set up your stuff, like be able to balance the amount of partying versus the amount of professionalism. Just be polite. There's a million things.
And Josh, I would say one of the biggest things that happens when we bring in a new DJ that wants to play in there, is they get so excited and they push their own agenda with the music. So if I told you to come in and play, 90s hip hop, top 40, 2020 top 40 or whatever, you'd be like, done. But you'd be surprised, that can turn into
wedding stuff.
That doesn't mean play the Steve Aoki bootleg of, this is how we do it or whatever like that. So that's where it gets twisted, is oh, he told me to play 50 Cent Disco Inferno, but I played the the Sonic the Hedgehog remix. It's okay,
So when you give a style, you're actually asking for that style, not a remixed version that bootlegged that copy.
Josh, you would go in there and do a great job. He's not you would come in with
even if you did that, even if you did drop a questionable song, you probably built your set up to that point, and you didn't start with it, so you're already winning.
All right, next question.
The advice.
Yeah, what's up, Lauren?
So the more I dig into this, and I'm spending time with great DJs, I'm noticing a common thread, and that's their music. They're not getting enough record pools. They're making it themselves. They're making their own edits. Are you guys there yet? Or are you still kind of pulling from DMS, DJ City?
Yeah, no, edits is... I just had this conversation off of this podcast last week with some DJs, Riley West and another, I think Pyro actually. I think edits is what has separated me and has made my style unique. Whether it's a short edit, chorus first, a different verse in order, the better verse first, a bootleg that I made, a mashup that I made, which eventually I started producing remixes. That is huge. Learning the basics of Ableton. And if you're not making your own edits, you still can make a huge impact by knowing your cue points and mastering that, and mastering your loops, because that's a whole nother art that can separate yourself and you could play the same 10 tracks that this person's playing and make it sound 10 times more amazing by the presentation. So I always tell people that.
Yeah, man, it's just one avenue to kind of separate yourself. Cliff does a really good job of doing that with the edits. I've told him before that he's probably a top 5 remixer as far as what I have in my library. So there's that. But then I, on the other hand, I have 2 record pools. I just added Hit Headliner Music Club. I'm actually pretty happy with it. I'm glad I did. They do a nice job with the hip hop stuff. And I like how they don't just do intro versions. They also give you the singles. But a lot of what I play now is just originals, and then I can either mix into the drop I want, or I can, a lot of times you just put the original where it's supposed to be in your set. So if the original is low energy, you put it at the early part of the set. If the original's high energy, you put it at the end of the set. So edits hasn't been as big a thing for me, but I definitely appreciate the DJs who do make them and the ones who share them, because if there's a low energy song that maybe is a big sing along, I can't think of anything. Maybe that Laugh Now, Cry Later. You'd probably want to play that peak hour. It's not a peak hour song. That's where I'm going to look to a Joe Maz, to a Corrupt, to a Fusamania for a nice big room edit that I can play at midnight 30, or I guess 10:30 now.
So James, where do we get your remixes, man?
Yeah. I've been releasing quite a few edit packs over the years, and I can send all those to you. I have a lot of stuff on Make the Cut on Club Killers. I actually have all my remixes, or not all my remixes, quite a few on DJ City, DMS. If you just search Corrupt Remix.
Tell them about your MailChimp. Tell them about your MailChimp.
Yep. Mike's a huge MailChimp guy. I need to get back on that, honestly, but
no, you said what
I'm doing. I am releasing another edit pack with all the mashups. I've been doing this Mashup Monday thing, and I'm gonna release one at the end of the month with all those plus a bunch more. I think I'm just gonna call it Monster Mash. So
go for it.
All right, yeah.
October 31st. So I'm super impressed with the what's the name of it?
Oh, and to answer your question, corruptmusic.com has all that.
Corruptmusic.com. Love it.
Guys, I don't mean to be rude. I actually have to jet. Is there any other questions you have for me?
Yes.
Josh,
give us your social media.
Yeah. Tell us
where can people
find you online and in person.
Yeah, so online, Instagram at DJ_Josh Staley or at Josh Staley Productions. I also own Turn Up Columbus, so at Turn Up Columbus. And Facebook, just Josh Staley. I'll friend you. Like let's hang out on Facebook till this COVID thing's over. And then at Mixcloud, DJ Josh Staley.
Josh, thank you so much for being on the show, man. Sorry I have to jet early, but yeah, I guess we're going late, so it's our fault.
No, you're good, guys. It was such an honor. Thank you so much. Great hanging out with you guys. Look forward to doing it in person here as soon as this.
Let's do it. We'll get it going.
Congratulations again.
Yeah, pumped. Thanks, guys. Have a great night, and look forward to seeing you guys soon. Bye.
Thank you.
Loren, I'm going to have you tell us where to find you on social media and in person, and then I want to go back to what you were asking.
Yeah, so you can find me, DJ Loren Miller on Instagram. New website, luminaryproductions.co, not .com. That guy wants $5,000 for that domain. So I'm going to talk him down. But right now I got luminaryproductions.co. So yeah, that's where you can find me going forward. So yeah, my question was like, so it seems like there's 3 groups of DJs. So you got your wedding mobile DJ, your club DJ, and then like that vinyl crowd. Like there's a really cool group in Columbus. What's the name?
Restart.
Like Boogie's part of it. IQ. It'll come to me, but like. Is there any crossover between like the club world and like that vinyl, hip hop R&B world?
Absolutely. I'm good friends with all those guys. If anything, I would call them radio / main. I don't even know. Like they're still in the clubs too, and they're not just doing their underground. Hip hop and R&B parties. A lot of those guys, IQ especially, plays a lot of open format top 40 pop. He played Zumbizi Bay all summer for families.
Yeah, weddings.
So they're yes, they are deep into the hip hop and R&B game, and they're with big success. But they're also, they love all the same music too, and a lot of them are on vinyl because a lot of them are scratching and stuff, and it's that Serato vinyl is 10 times better to scratch on, and I think that's what's in their radio stations as well. If that's what you're getting at, I'm not sure if I am.
Yeah. So definitely, just random thought here. I'm a random guy, so just kind of brought up an idea. So I'm a professional musician, and I teach music lessons, piano and guitar. I used to, at like 10 years ago, I was teaching 20 guitar lessons a week. But no one wants to learn to play the guitar anymore. Yeah. They all want to learn how to DJ. And like LA, New York, Scratch DJ School, Whitney was talking about it the other week. I think you guys should start up something like that. Like, I think there's, and the best part about that, it's, Monday through Friday, not just Saturdays, really kind of bringing up the art in Columbus. I think there's some potential there.
No, I agree. I've definitely considered doing classes or starting classes, but I haven't really made it a game plan to initiate. And I would definitely want to do it with somebody like Mike. I think that's like his. If you've seen any of his tutorials, they're unmatched. So if we were to ever do like a big class in person, I would want to partner with somebody who can find the right words and make it that much more professional. But I think there would be huge demand for that. I agree with you.
Yeah.
See, and that's the part. Go ahead, Loren.
I just gotta say thanks to Mike, because I would come and look over your shoulder at gigs, and you'd be teaching me about Serato, and I just want to say, like, I am eternally grateful for your mentorship and friendship. Like, that's definitely been a huge part to me learning the craft.
Now he's got a big head.
Yeah, I know, right? Happy to do it. No, what I was gonna say is, and this is actually the counter to the big head thing, is I don't know if the demand's there. So like, I think those schools where they work are like the big cities, LA, New York, Miami, the places where like you can get famous as a DJ. I'm not saying you can't get famous in Columbus DJ, but Corrupt, we've talked about on the show, it's harder here, right? So I think having that bigger pool of people, you know, if there's 11 or I don't know how many people are in New York, but that many people, and there's only, you know, 1% like Z, there's still a lot of people that could be interested. And then you have to convince, you know, either parents or people to pay you what it would actually take to do the DJ school. So right now, I'm pretty comfortable just doing like the YouTube stuff, but I would, definitely down the road, once I'm probably unable to DJ, you know, just having like a place that I go to, like an office, like you're saying, Monday through Friday, where I just teach DJing is a dream. But I don't, if I had to predict, I don't know if the demand is there for me to.
Or even like that gig in Cincinnati that you got, you know, like we go to a club, you know, once a month and, you know, on an off night and kind of get some hands-on stuff there.
I honestly think there is a demand. It's just not for people that are trying to make it a career thing. I think people just want to learn how to DJ in general. I mean, think about how many people want to do that.
Yeah.
You could still do classes. I don't know what kind of money would be there per class, but $20.
I did a DJ class once. Ken was in it and a couple other people, and I think I charged $50 and I gave him a printed out certificate at the end. So
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I promise you I did.
I want one of those. Put that right on my wall.
But I'm going to go over to 614 releases, guys. 614 is an apparel company in Columbus. They do awesome work, and we are proud to partner with them. And guess what, James? We actually got some releases this week. I'm so pumped.
Oh, my gosh.
Unfortunately, half of them are you and me. So Ice Cream Paint Job versus Tap In, the Corrupt mashup came out. Make sure you go to corruptmusic.com to find that. Perception by Entel and Bakovin. There are rumors that I maybe got to hear this live at a party on Friday and that it went off really well. So big shout out to Bakovin and Entel, not only for dropping a dope track, but also getting to play it in front of the hometown crowd. And then I released Poolside 2020. Yes, Poolside mix at the beginning of October, I know. But you would usually work on that on vacation or pools, and there was none of that this summer. So it got to be September, and I was like, oh, crap, let me put this out because it's my favorite mix to make. Like, this is the type of, like, if someone said, like, okay, if you got to be one type of DJ, it would be that summer house, like an MK, like a Weiss type of guy. So that's my favorite mix to make. It's out now. I'm pretty happy with it. And then I don't know if you guys could see my shirt. It says 100% self-made. The message isn't important. I'm not a big fan of the whole self-made movement, but this was sent to us by Cameron Williamson, fellow DJ, who's also getting into apparel, but his niche is kind of like branding apparel. So I'm just going to read you something that he sent us. Give me 2 seconds. It says, attention is the only currency. If you need it to fund a project, start a business, or to keep a DJ podcast afloat. Attention Machine Apparel is the company, and they are committed to helping you advertise without being salesy. They're super comfortable. They're not side hustlers, and they want to make you internet famous. So their tees are great conversation starters. You see the one, I'll wear one again next week. And they're a really good icebreaker. So you can go to attentionmachineapparel.com. There is a code, Columbus DJs is the code. So check out if you guys are looking for t-shirts, maybe you have a design, talk to Cameron. He'll be happy to work with you. I want to thank him for sending me the shirt, and good luck with that, Cameron. And lastly, I want to give a shout out to one of our, they're not a sister channel, but they're just good friends of mine. Actually, Lauren, you've probably worked with Seth and Beth Photography before at some of your weddings, but Seth does a podcast with a guy named Paul, and they do the Everything Money podcast. So if you guys are into finances or need a place to start with your financial kind of know-how, they talk about a lot of stocks, a lot of investments, and just ways to make your money work for you. And they just reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Nice. So I'm especially proud of them. They went from 500 to 1,000 in 1 month. So it just goes to show you guys, if you're content creators, just consistency is the key. Just keep doing what you're doing. If you believe in what your project is, just keep doing it. It may start out slow at first, but once that algorithm kicks in, you get those people to start liking your channel. You can really, really take off. So big shout out to Everything Money. And I mean, we're just going to go right into it, guys. Like the video. There was a ton of information here. This is probably going to go down as one of my favorite podcasts information-wise. Just in the amount of tips, I feel like this, I don't know how I'm going to chop this up because I feel like we were talking about helpful tips the entire time. So definitely like the video, subscribe for more, and comment below to tell us what you want us to talk about. We didn't get to talk about a ton of topics today. I want to hit the social dilemma next week. We lost iTunes Music with the new Mac update. And I think we finally need to tackle the when you should start charging your market rate. It's been brought up in like the 3 out of the last 4 podcasts. And James, I think you and I just need to like settle that so we have a place to point people. But Loren, thank you so much for joining us, dude. We're 22 minutes over time, so I think this is the longest podcast we've had. Big thank you to you. Big thank you to Josh and James. Thank you for letting us get into your Warzone time. Hopefully season 6 is going well for you, buddy.
Yeah, man, it's been good. Thank you, Loren, so much for joining us.
Definitely, man. Pleasure. Looking forward to hanging out in the booth in Daly with you guys soon.
You're always welcome, man.
They're doing
wear that
now,
mask.
Yep. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much. Peace out. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys.